Hi, my name is Lyndon Azcuna. I'm the Executive Director at LifePlan. I'm going to be talking today about the importance of fathering, or the importance of father. Margaret Mead, an anthropologist, said the central problem of every society is to define appropriate roles for men. In other words, the role of fathers. And the United States, unfortunately, leads the world in single-parent families. Out of all our children, 23% of them will go home tonight without a father. This has changed so much. That's about 24 million children. In 1960, it was only 8 million. And so it's 24 million today. Kids go home without a father at home. That's 1 out of 3 children in our country. Also, it's 2 out of 3 in the African American society. There's a great impact here. Fathers are really important. I can give you some data on how important fathers are. 63% of youth suicide come from fatherless homes. 90% of homeless runaway children come from fatherless homes. 85% of children exhibiting behavioral disorder come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists motivated by displaced anger come from fatherless homes. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 75% of adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 70% of juvenile state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. And 85% of our youth in prison grew up from fatherless homes. I've been in prison ministry for 8 years, and the number one characteristic of the men that I talk to, that I've been in different prisons across the country, is that they did not have a father growing up. In fact, if you can look at our society, every single ill in our society, drugs, rape, all these negative things that are happening in society can be directly connected in one way or another to fatherless homes, fathers not being there to guide their children. That's the negative impact, and I'm sure there's more. But there's also a positive impact of a father just being there. Here are some of those. There's been a 4-decade study that when dads were emotionally close to their son, they found these sons achieving greater in life. When there were another 4-decade study found that dads encouraged their daughters to excel and achieve, these daughters were more successful in school and also in their career. And lastly, children who feel closeness to their father are twice more likely to enter college and have stable employment after high school. That's just some of them. If a father is there for their children, especially growing up, these children have higher cognitive outcomes in their life as an infant. Higher self-esteem, less depressed, higher grade test scores and overall achievement. They have lower levels of drug and alcohol use, greater problem-solving skills, more secure in their gender identity, stronger self-concept, and a higher level of empathy and pro-social behavior. In other words, guys, as fathers, this is my one advice for you. We just need to show up. We just need to be there for our children, to spend time, to prioritize them, and to talk to them, to have conversation, to engage and encourage our children. That in itself, just being present, just showing up, can encourage our kids in multiple ways: cognitive, emotional, academic, mental. So I want to encourage you fathers, just show up, just be there for your kids. So fathers, I talked a little bit about just showing up. I want to give 5 guidelines on how you can show up really well. All right. Number one, lead servantly. Lead servantly. What I mean by that, you need to be a leader in your home. And I put servant there because you need to be a servant leader. Serve your family. When you've been in an airplane, the air mask comes down and there's an announcement that says, first, before you help somebody, help put the mask on yourself, then you can serve somebody. Yes, we need to lead first. We need to be able to lead ourselves first. Lead in education, lead in our work ethic, lead in our integrity. Be a leader, be a model for your children, as well as be a servant leader to your wife, to your family, that way. So leading is very important because we can't lead where we haven't been, and we can't give what we don't have. We need to be the people that are impacting our children, it has to impact us first. So lead servantly is number one. Number two, very important principle. I have 6 kids of my own, and this was probably one of the first principles that we set in our family, is make honesty number one. In other words, we do not lie in our family. Lying was kind of the unpardonable sin in our family when the kids were growing up. Because I knew that when the kids became teenagers, I need to trust them. And so there needs to be a trust relationship between a child and a parent. And so how that looks is that we don't lie to each other. We never lie to each other. We always tell the truth. So lying was unacceptable, and start as young as possible. So make honesty number three, excuse me. When you want to change your children, aim at the heart. Don't only aim at the behavior. Aim at the area of their life that needs to change. You have to look at motivation, inspiration, and purpose, and why they did their behavior, and to try to connect it to better purpose and reasons why they need to change. So it's a heart change that you're aiming for, not only behavioral change. So that means sometimes you have to explain something to your children a little longer. So, okay, so number one, lead servantly. Number two, make honesty number one. Number three, target heart change. And number four, constantly connect or communicate with your children. Always communicate. In fact, 2 practical examples here is that every night of the week, every night, you should be having 1 meal with your children at least. I mean, we do it in our family every dinner time. Everybody needs to be there. It's something we do together. We talk about things. How is your day? We have questions that we look up. So there's constant communication. There's constant talking to each other. Talk is very important, communicating. And I want to encourage fathers that you know what? Your kids will never be 2 years old again, will never be 5 years old again, will never be 12 years old, will never be 18, and so forth. So you have to take this moment and connect with them, or that moment will be gone forever. So don't lose it. Communicate, connect with your children at different age level. And number 5, make family important. Make family important and enjoyable. Meaning, family times are times when we have a good time and we enjoy being with one another. I keep telling my children the longest relationship that you'll have is your sibling. So what does that mean? We have to get along with each other. We have to like each other. Because when your parents are gone, this is the relationship that will continue. So at an early age, I told my children, your sibling is one of the most important relationships you'll ever have, because you'll have it for the rest of your life. So when there's conflict, we address those conflicts. We work out those conflicts. We ask our children to work out those conflicts with their siblings, because family relationship is critical. That's why everybody wants to go home. Everybody wants to spend time with one another. Okay, so number 1, lead servantly. Number 2, make honesty number 1. Number 3, target the heart change. Constantly communicate and connect with children. And number 5, make family important and enjoyable. I just want to say this. Families are really important. Building your children are really, really important, because you know what? There's no do-overs. We cannot do over relationship. There's no do-overs in a relationship. And you know what? There's no all-nighters. When I was in college, I did an all-nighter to cram for something. You can't do that in relationship. You have to do it constantly every day. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth really hard one day because you're going the next day to the dentist. It doesn't make an impact. You have to do it every day to have good teeth. And the same thing, if you want to have a great relationship with your family, you have to work on it every single day. So connect with your children, love your family, and I pray that you as fathers would just do the right thing and show up and make an impact by trying to apply some of these 5 principles. Here at LifePlan, we have resources for you. Just go to our website, lifeplan.org, contact us, and we'll be able to share those with you, connect with you in person, as well as give you a resource that we can email to you. Thank you for your support. Again, fathers, just show up.